Welcome back to another How to Level Up, and this time looking at Standard Mage. This is not that different from my Wild Mage video I did a few weeks ago, but there's a few changes obviously. I mean, you don't have Blizzard, for example. And that sort of aspect of control is more employed, I would say, by Light Show. If you can get a bunch of these out, this is really quite useful to get. So you can obviously discover more of these with Fast Wisdom and stuff like that. Where this deck really shines though is with this card. This card is kind of like is really a great card because often if you've got enough Pyroblast that you've generated from perhaps from Audio Splitter, you can literally do 10 damage to the face, and then you've got, if you've got any minions to deal with, you're going to have like a bunch of you know, I mean, the amount of arcane bolts you're going to have is probably going to be a lot in general, because you can obviously generate them so easily. So that's good. But again, we use what I use in the other deck, which is the Vexillus. This is just like, often if you've got like you know, this counting down or whatever, you can do this with a bunch of arcane worms. Because remember, if you're a little, and keep in mind like the mana thirst behavior of the bolts, right? You need to be on at least turn 8 to do that. So it can be tricky because obviously the games are quite fast, but still worth doing it. And there's other things like I mean, so you can always generate more light shows as well. Sometimes you might just have a more light show focused game. You can always generate them with those. You don't want to have. You need to get rid of your arcane intellects in that case, though. But there's no other necessary problem. You've got a lot of 1 mana. You can also do like a Lunar play with the Magister's Apprentice if you want to get rid of cards. It just depends, obviously, in your hand. What I like to do though is you don't exactly always know what deck you're going to face, whether it's going to be a slower one with Renathal or it's going to be something really fast like a Shadow Priest or something like that. So you can always sort of like keep like both sides of things. Like for instance, this card really useful. Like if you really haven't got much, you know, to deal with the early board, this card it will basically deal with most early boards because those elementals are good. A lot of those elementals, like there's a 3/4 which gives you fire damage, and if you do fire, yeah, I think it's like I thought it was a shaman card, but anyway. But the point is, you can get like yeah, I've synergized many times with this card, in fact. But yeah, the other thing as well, of course, is you're not going to use the spell damage on this. But the point is, if you can get that spell damage on, say, this is the ideal thing to get it on, obviously. But even if you get it on this, or it doesn't really matter, as long as like a minion arrives, which you can get it on. Well, obviously, you probably wouldn't want to. Well, I mean, you could do it on those as well. But the point is, like, yeah, always get this, you know, because the spell damage just multiplies so much. To have 2 extra, you can imagine what, you know, you can see what that does to it. It literally gives you 5. So you could do, you know, if you're doubling out with Vexillus, it's just you can do so much damage, and that's really how you win. Is that you do so much damage that it seems like they feel like they're completely out of range, but obviously they're not. You could always do, you know, get a solid alibi like on the crucial turn. That is really like the crucial turn thing. It's like if you imagine like you know, like how like the rogue, for instance, would go stealth. You know, with when you win that card, the hero card that made the hero go stealth. It's that sort of approach you have to take towards that. This, yeah, again, it's always gonna want light show really with that. Yeah, I mean, if you get to the point where you're getting a Pyroblast out of that, you're pretty well. I mean, you could. I don't know. I guess I haven't had that exact situation, but if this was on board, did a Pyroblast first turn, I could take this and then take it for the following turn or something like that. But yeah, you definitely you need to have like you want to have at least 2 Pyroblasts, which is not terribly hard to do. But yeah, I mean, really fun deck, and yeah, let's play some games.